Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. If you will, like, share, comment on the post, and then we will start with the 22nd chapter of the book of Acts. 22nd chapter, beginning in verse 1. Paul, previously, we looked at, had been brought in and was trying to speak to the people. And there had been a huge uprising, and he goes out and begins to address the crowd. And he says, "Brothers and fathers, hear the defense that I now make before you." And when they heard that he was addressing them in Hebrew language, they became even more quiet. Paul's whole life is just a series of examples for us. His testimony, his preaching, his prayers, his actions, reactions, is just a one big string of lessons for each of us. And this is no different, as he is now going to give his testimony, or attempt to give his testimony, to this crowd who just a few moments before, or really even still now, want to see him dead. They're trying to kill him. Had the soldiers not intervened, Paul would have already been killed. And why would he do that? That's the question. What would provoke Paul to ask the guards to let me go back out and speak to this crowd, this angry mob, with pitchforks and torches, who want to see me dead? Let me speak to them. And we really can only come to one conclusion, and that is that Paul had a great love for these people. He had a great desire to see his own people, the Jews, come to know Christ. And so he was willing to go back out and try to address them one more time. Most people, I think, in their right mind, would have said to the soldiers, "Get me out! Thank you for arresting me. Please throw me in jail where they can't get to me." But Paul says, "No, let me go back out and try to speak to them one more time." And so he is willing to put his life on the line, to try to see people to be saved, to try to see people come to know Christ as he had. He knew his lost condition and where he was when Christ confronted him, and he wanted these people to experience that same grace and mercy, even though they hated his guts. They wanted him dead, and they're going to continue in their plots and actions to try to see him dead. But nonetheless, Paul continues to stretch out his hand in love, and he reaches out to them, brothers and fathers, or brethren. And again, the word "father" that he used there is a term of respect. It's a term that would be used for the leaders of the nation, who were no doubt in this crowd, brothers. He said, we're related. This is the closest relationship that we could have. Christians still to this day call each other's brothers and sisters. And so Paul is appealing to them and saying, I love you. I care about you. I identify with you, and I have no hard feelings. Even though you want me dead, I don't have any hard feelings. I want you to know Jesus Christ. And so, again, what a marvelous lesson for you and I. What a challenge for you and I. I'm sure that, if I was to ask you today, can you make a list of people who you want to see come to know Christ? That each one of you could. That you'd make a list, and it would include, family and friends, and brothers, sisters, close loved ones, those kinds of things. But how many of our enemies would be on that list? How many other people that we don't see eye to eye with would make that list? And Paul here exemplifies for us the real heartbeat, I think, of Christ, of a genuine Christian. He exemplifies for us what it looks like, that he's willing to risk his life to go back out and to try to once again share the good news of Jesus Christ with these who want him dead. And that's a real challenge for us, a real heart searcher. That again, if you were to make a list of people you'd like to see come to know Christ, who would be on it? How many of them would be people you would classify, and your enemy may be a strong word, but people you don't like, people you don't care for? Would we list those among those we want to see come to know Christ? And then not only would we put them on the list, but as Paul did, would we be willing to go out? Would you be willing to go and to make an effort to share the gospel, to lead those people who desperately need Christ, who maybe you don't like, maybe who you've had a falling out with, don't see eye to eye with? Would you be willing to tell them about Christ, to carry the gospel even to those people? That's a soul searcher. That's something to really make us look deep inside our heart and see where we are in our own walk with Jesus Christ. You think about it today. Who's on your list, and who would you share the gospel with? We'll see you here tomorrow morning.